Hello real life kids, my name's Hannah. Today I'm going to be leading real life kids in our home. I hope you enjoyed our Easter series, and for those of you who joined in with Messy Easter, that you enjoyed making some brilliant crafts at home. Today we're going to go back to our Hope is Alive series. Can you remember the signs? You can have a go at doing them with me if you like. Hope is alive. And we say hope is alive because Jesus is alive. And today we're going to be looking at the story of Ruth. It's one of my favourite stories in the Bible, and I hope that you enjoy it too. But first, let's play a game. Are you ready, Nick and Rory, to play today's kids' work game?
Yeah!
Right, this is a potato race. So you could use a potato, Rory. Potato. Or you could use a teddy. Or you could use something like a beanbag. But what you need to do is put it in between your knees. And then you can put the potato down, Ross. And then you're going to have a race. So my boys are going to race to this chair here, which you can't see, and then back, and then they've got to drop it into their bucket. Ready, steady, go! Oh, he's missed the bucket! Well done, boys. Enjoy the game, real life kids. Say bye, boys.
Bye!
I hope you enjoyed that game, real life kids, and that you're looking forward to finding out about Ruth now. Let's listen to Simon reading the story.
Hi everyone, I'm Simon and I'm going to be reading you the story of Ruth. In a place called Moab, there lived a nice family. Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their 2 sons moved there because there was more food there than where they used to live. After a while, Elimelech died, but Naomi wasn't alone. She still had 2 sons. Her sons got married, but after about 10 years they died too. At least Naomi still had her sons' wives to keep her company. Their names were Orpah and Ruth. Naomi called her sons' wives and told them, "I am going back to where I used to live, and I would like you also to go back to your family where you used to live. May God show you kindness as you have showed me." All the women cried and hugged each other because they were such good friends. Orpah didn't want to leave Naomi, but Naomi told her not to worry, she would be fine. So Orpah left to go back to her family. But no matter what Naomi said to Ruth, Ruth would not leave. "Don't ask me to leave. Where you go, I will go. And where you stay, I will stay. Your friends will be my friends, and your God will be my God." So Ruth and Naomi returned to Bethlehem together. It was a good thing Ruth went with Naomi, because Bethlehem was very far away, and Naomi couldn't have travelled all that way by herself. Ruth never complained and was a good friend to Naomi. She wasn't expecting anything in return, she just wanted to help. When they got to Bethlehem, Ruth needed to work so that they could eat. It was harvest time, so she worked in the fields, following behind the harvesters, and picked up any grain they had dropped. The owner of the field came by to greet the harvesters and noticed Ruth in the field. He asked one of the harvesters who she was. "She came back from Moab with Naomi, that's all I know." Lucky for Ruth, the owner of the field was Boaz. He was a kind man who believed in God. He had also been related to Elimelech, Naomi's husband that died. Boaz went to talk with Ruth. He said to her, "Don't go work in any other field, but stay here with the other servant girls. I will make sure you are safe, and whenever you are thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars." When Ruth heard this, she bowed down to Boaz and asked, "Why are you being so nice to me? I'm not even from here." Boaz replied, "I know what you've done for Naomi. You left your family and moved to a place you've never been. May the Lord reward you for your kindness." Ruth thanked Boaz and continued with her work in the hot sun. Boaz even ordered his workers to drop extra barley so Ruth could have more for herself. Ruth took all the barley home and shared what she had with Naomi. And eventually Ruth married Boaz, and everyone was happy. They had a baby, and that baby was the grandfather of David, who was a very important man in the Bible. Did you know that Jesus came from this family line?
Hope is alive because he is alive. Ruth knew this, and so do I. Ruth put her hope in God when she refused to go back to her family and insisted on travelling with Naomi. She could have taken the easy option, but she trusted God. The Bible tells us that following Jesus is not always going to be the easy choice, but if we put our faith and hope in God, just like Ruth did, he will bring us through the difficult times. Ruth worked hard, even when things were really tough. When she and Naomi arrived in Bethlehem, they didn't even know where they were going to get their food from. But Ruth did not give up, and she remained a faithful friend to Naomi, and God rewarded Ruth for her faithfulness. To many people in Bethlehem, Ruth would have seemed like a nobody. She was an outsider. She came from a place far away from where she settled, and she was a widow, which meant that her husband had died. She was so unimportant that her job was to pick up the bits of grain that had been dropped by the main pickers. She was content to take the bits that nobody else wanted. But God did not think that Ruth was a nobody. He blessed her with a kind master who became her husband, and they had a baby whose grandson, David, would go on to be one of the most important people in the Bible, and from whose family Jesus would come. How amazing is that? No matter who we are or how small we feel, God has a plan for us, and he will help us all to do great things in his name if we put our hope in him. For our craft this week, Real Life Kids, we're going to do some food art to look like the wheat that Ruth would have picked up. So I'm going to draw some bits of wheat here. You might want to, if you're in early years, you might want to get a grown-up to do this for you. And then maybe you can find some food that looks a bit like wheat. I've got some pasta here that you could put on. You probably want to put it on with some glue so that it sticks in place. Or maybe some cereal. I like these ones, look. Make some cereal wheat. There we go. Fill them all up and make them look like the wheat that was growing in the fields. Don't forget to drop some on the ground for the gleaners like Ruth to pick up. This week's Keeping Hope Alive challenge is to get creative in the kitchen. We are so fortunate that we live in a country where food is easily available, not like Ruth, who had to go out and collect the scraps that others had left behind. Now, as you could probably tell from my craft, I am not the most artistic of people, but I do like to cook and to bake. This week, I would love for you to create something to eat, and whilst you're doing it, thank God for providing for us. Maybe you could carefully chop some fruit or veggies with your grown-up, or make yourself a sandwich. Maybe you'd like to do some baking. We'd love to see your creations if you can ask a grown-up to share them on social media with the hashtag #RealLifeHopeIsAlive. Remember, hope is alive because he is alive. Bye, Real Life Kids.